it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel. It's Johara Loves TV. I'm going to do Halloween movie recommendations, and in a couple days I'll do Halloween TV show recommendations. So some of these are going to be kind of obvious, like of course I'm going to recommend them. They're Halloween-esque movies, and some of them are kind of classics, and I'll dig into that when I get into it. But some of these you may not have heard of, and if you haven't, you definitely should go and watch them like immediately because they're really good. Some of these are horror, some of them are not. So let's just dig into it, shall we? I have Harry Potter. Harry Potter is amazing in every way. I don't even think I need to explain what Harry Potter's about, because like even if you haven't watched Harry Potter, which is very few people, most people at least know what it's about. They at least know the name, and that's something, you know, that everyone knows what Harry Potter is. Because Harry Potter is amazing. It deserves all the hype it gets. I'll just say, you know, a little about Harry Potter, like the fact that Harry Potter finds out he's wizards and go to Hogwarts, which is a magic school, and finds out that his parents died from an evil wizard who everyone is terrified of, and it's about him, you know, learning magic and having to fight Voldemort every single movie. Well, not every single movie. Well, kind of. I mean, the first one he had to fight Quill, who was Voldemort was in the back of his head. Second movie he had to fight Tom Riddle, which was his Voldemort's past self. Prisoner of Azkaban. Not that one. That one's mostly about Sirius Black and the Dementors, because everyone thought Sirius Black was the reason why Voldemort found out where Harry's parents were. Turns out that's not true. Then there's Goblet of Fire, where Voldemort comes back, and then after that, every movie they had to kind of fight Voldemort or something around, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, but I love the Harry Potter movies and the books. Okay, so next I have Monster High. Monster High is amazing. I'm in love with Monster High. It's my second favorite movie franchise, just below Harry Potter, because they're both amazing and they're almost neck and neck. Like, they're just right there. I just love them so much. Monster High is such an empowering movie as well. For being kind of a children's movie, it kind of breaks stereotypes. Like, I love in Friday Night Frights, where everyone was saying, oh, these, because their school is falling apart because they lost the school and made roller maze, so the ghouls decide to form their own team since all the guys were too badly injured, and everyone was like, oh, it's too dangerous for you ghouls, you can't do it. And at first it seemed like they were right, because the ghouls were not doing a great job at this sporty sport. But and then that's when Rebecca's like, I got this way because I was trying to fight like the boys. If you want to beat the boys, you have to fight like girls. And I just loved that. And then it shows them all like, get ready, and they all were all, you know, dressing in their normal outfits, kind of girly and stuff. But because of that, they ended up doing amazing, and they ended up beating all the boys teams, and it was awesome. I live for it. But yeah, there's lessons like that constantly, and like Ghouls Rule, where monsters versus normies, and it's basically about, honestly every movie is kind of about the fact that they have those freaky flaws, and it doesn't matter, because, you know, they're all still amazing, and it doesn't matter about their freaky flaws. They let their freaky flaws shine, and I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, well, the movie's about monsters, obviously, so Halloween-esque there. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. Hocus Pocus. That one's kind of an obvious one, and everyone knows about that as well. You know, they freed the Sanderson sisters, so Max, his little sister Danny, and his crush Allison all have to stop the Sanderson sisters, even though it's their fault they're free. Well, it's Max's fault, because he was the non-believer that's gonna get the rest of us killed. I said this once. I've said it a million times before, and I'm gonna say it a million times again. The non-believers are gonna get the rest of us killed. Look at all these little movies, okay? Ouija. Why did all they die? Why did everyone die? Because someone did not follow the rules. Someone did not believe and thought it'd be fun. It was not. Hocus Pocus and the sequel book, Max and Poppy did not believe what happened. Chaos. I can go on and on with this. Did not believe it was gonna get the rest of us killed, I swear. Halloween Town, obviously a classic Halloween movie. Marnie is in between two worlds because her mom wanted to be more of the human world while her grandmother wanted to be in the witch world, and I still think what her mom did was bogus because it should be. The thing is, she made her choice. She shouldn't have to force Marnie to make the choice that she made, and it made me really upset because it's like, it's not fair. You made your choice. You didn't want anything to do with your witch heritage, fine. You don't want anything to do with Halloween Town or your powers, then fine. But what would have happened if her mom forced her to stay in Halloween Town? She wouldn't have been happy. Same thing with Marnie. Marnie would have resented her forever if she found out when it was too late and she couldn't save her powers. And it's just bogus. But I do like the actress who played the mom. I've seen her on a few things. She was on an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, and she played the April in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. So yeah. Let's see. Twitches, another classic Halloween movie. Not as classic as Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town though, and not as good, but I still enjoyed those movies a lot. They're really good. It's about two twin witches who, okay, I forgot their name for a minute in real life. Tia and Tamara Mori, right? Something like that. But yeah, they were both split up at birth, and had to flee their magical world that they were born in because they're also princesses, and because of this great darkness that was after them, and they were adopted, and so they never knew about their powers or each other, and until they meet and find out that they're witches as well, and then they have to fight the darkness, and then in the second movie the darkness comes back. And I really like the end of the first movie when they realize that the opposite of dark isn't light, it's love. So they end up naming all the people they care about, all the people they love, and you see the light just shine and devour the darkness, and it was beautiful. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Now, I really like this movie, and I don't know how popular it is, but I don't think it's that unpopular either. I mean, I really like this movie. But it's basically about a boy who dreams a lot and talks about his dreams because he doesn't really have any friends. So he considers Shark Boy and Lava Girl from his dreams his friends, and then something strange happens and they come, and all of a sudden they're real and they're here and they need his help. But then when at the end you find out it was a dream, he wakes up in class when some weird storm is happening, only for his dream to really do come real at this point. And yeah, so I also have We Can Be Heroes, which is kind of like, I don't know, when they first talked about that movie, they were making it seem like a Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel, because that's how they kind of promoted it, by talking about Shark Boy and Lava Girl and their daughter. And don't get me wrong, I ended up liking the movie, but I was disappointed because they falsely promoted, because Shark Boy and Lava Girl wasn't even in all that much, and it wasn't just about the little girl, she wasn't even the main girl. So it was a little disappointing on that aspect, but the movie itself turned out to be really good, and I really liked it. And when I found out that one of the dads was Stinking Han from Fast and Furious, I almost, oh my gosh. But then I saw Fast and Furious and saw him come back, and I was happy, but I cannot believe that was him. Pretty sure there was someone else there that I knew, but I don't remember now. I don't know. I only saw the movie once. I want to rewatch it. I also have Casper. I haven't seen this movie since I was probably 10, but it's a classic. Casper the Friendly Ghost. So maybe I should rewatch it sometime. I also have Casper Scare School, an animated movie, and there's also a TV show with it, and I really do enjoy that one. I own it, and I was actually thinking about rewatching it recently, but it's really good. And it's basically about monsters are supposed to be scary, and Casper constantly gets in trouble for not being scary, for wanting to be friendly. So he's sent to scare school, because if he isn't, he'll be sent to this horrible place. And so, but then there was this whole conspiracy, and Casper makes friends with Mantha, who's my favorite character, and Mantha's a zombie, a proud feminist, proud to be a zombie despite even other monsters put zombies down, and it's really sad. But she always sticks up for them, and I love her so much. Ra, a mummy, and then he made an enemy, Thatch, who's a vampire. But they all have to stop the school principals, who are who start, well, creating chaos. So yeah. And there's also Casper's other friend, who he was already friends with before the movie started, which was Jimmy, who's a human, which is not allowed, to say the least. I also have ScoobyDoo. I'm talking about, I haven't actually seen much of the animated movies, to be honest, except for a couple, but I do love the live action ones, and the live action ones do put a supernatural spin on it. The ones with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. I absolutely love those. Those are my favorite Scooby-Doo adaptations ever. So amazing. Because in the first movie, they go to this, they all kind of split up, and then it shows like a couple years later, and then they all get invited to, I can't remember what it's called now, but this place, this like, island, Spooky Island, that's what it was called, Spooky Island, and, to figure out who's haunting it or whatever. But there was a supernatural spin on that a little bit. The supernatural does come a little bit more in the second movie than the first one, but there were monsters in the first one, little monsters that were kidnapping everyone, and then you find out that Scrappy-Doo, who used to be part of their gang but only annoyed everyone, was the cause of it and wanted to destroy them. And they came back together. But in the second movie, someone stole the costumes of all because they had like this museum opened in their honor, and full of the costumes of people who dressed up as these costumes and terrorized the town. And but someone came and stole the costumes, and then started turning the costumes into the actual monster that they were supposed to be, and they had to stop them from terrorizing the town and tarnishing their good name. I also have My Babysitter's a Vampire. That is about, this person's babysitter who turns out to be a vampire, and then this whole vampire thing where they're trying to kill all these people at this dusk movie premiere, so they have to stop them because they wanted these souls to bring back his entire flock from like centuries before. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. This one is more sci-fi, I guess you could say. I think Star Wars is more sci-fi because it's about other planets and aliens. But I've never been big in the Star Wars movies, the live action ones, but I love the animated movie and series. I do want to eventually watch Star Wars Rebels as well, because I heard Ahsoka's on there, and I love Ahsoka. That's the only reason why I want to watch it. But yeah, so it's basically about Anakin, his old master Obi-Wan, and his Jedi Padawan Ahsoka, and they have to stop all the bad guys, this and that. But it's really good. Let's see. Nightmare on Elm Street, duh, Freddy Krueger, God love it. I also have Scream. A lot of these that I mentioned you guys probably know of by now. Like Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream are my two favorite horror movies. they're the first ones I ever watched when I was little, and I love them. There's also Halloween. I haven't actually seen all the Halloween movies. Friday 13th, and I haven't actually seen that one. Don't come for me. I will eventually. Freddy vs. Jason, I saw once or twice. It was good. Chucky, I've only seen a couple of them, but I do plan on watching more. I also have Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. That one's an amazing one. It's about, well, Hansel and Gretel, obviously, but they are witch hunters now, so they stop any witch who tries to attack kids, like the way they were attacked. It's really good. But then there turned out to be this entire conspiracy, because it turns out the parents didn't just leave them; they were murdered, and they were after Gretel because she, just like their mother, has witch inside of her, because her mother was a white witch. So she has to. So they are after like 12 kids, I think. No, 13. No, that's not right. Because there's 2 kids who was born in every month. There's 12 months. So that doesn't make sense. No, 12. Yeah, 12. 6 girls, 6 boys. One that was born in every month.
Yeah, but you have to include Gretel.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting to. I'm talking about the actual kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the actual kids, there are 12 kids, one that was born every month, and then there's Gretel, who was the ultimate sacrifice. But of course, Hansel wasn't gonna let anything happen to his sister. He teamed up with a troll that Gretel had befriended, a white witch who he had a fling with, and then this other nerdy kid who kind of had a thing for Gretel and was like obsessed with them, kind of. Not really in a bad way. He just, huh? Yeah, he was totally fangirling over them and everything they've done, and I kind of liked this character. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Gretel's my favorite character, if that's any surprise, but I just absolutely love that movie, and now I want to rewatch it. Well, Alyssa and I were talking about doing a horror marathon. Maybe we'll watch it. Truth or Dare, the one with Lucy Hale, because I know there's a couple. Absolutely love this movie. Basically, they go to somewhere in spring break. I don't remember where, but they go somewhere for spring break when all of a sudden, when Lucy Hale's character Olivia meets this guy who takes them to this place and convinces to play Truth or Dare, and now all of a sudden the game followed them home, and the person, crap, what's his name, Callus, I think, something like that. He asks each of them a question, or he says Truth or Dare, and they have to say either Truth or Dare, and if they don't tell the truth, they die. If they don't do the dare, they die. If they refuse to play, they die. So it's really good. A Quiet Place, I think that one's gone kind of popular. I really enjoy it. I haven't seen the second one yet, but I want to. It's really good. Basically, there's these monsters, and you can't even make any noise because they are attracted by noise, and they will kill you. But it's really good. There's also Ouija, which is really good, and the prequel is good as well, but not as good as the original. But Ouija is basically where it's about this girl whose best friend Lily just supposedly killed herself, and then all of a sudden her and her friends and little sister all end up finding this board game that the main girl had, the dead girl had and started playing it. And then this Doris kept telling them that Mother is after them, so the entire time they think Doris is the innocent one, and in reality the Mother was trying to warn them about Doris, even though in the end the Mother was kind of the bad guy, because the Mother is the one that's kind of that killed her daughter, basically. So it was messed up. Sinister, I haven't seen these movies in a while, but they were really good. I do want to watch them again. Sinister is about, I think, a writer or photographer who comes to town, and then some weird stuff starts to happen, and because like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember the ending mostly, because it doesn't end happily. And this little girl who the villain convinced to kill her family, I think, ended up going inside the painting. Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's really good. I I also have the Conjuring Universe because the Conjuring is superior. I love the Conjuring. I love all the movies. My favorites are the Conjuring and Conjuring 2. I really want to see the Conjuring 3 because I have not yet, but I'm so excited for it. There's also the Nun. There's 3 Annabelle movies: Annabelle, Annabelle Creation, and Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle, I don't really remember that much. Annabelle Creation wasn't that bad. I remember it's more than Annabelle, but not that much. And then there's Annabelle Comes Home, which I remember a lot, and I absolutely love that one. That's definitely my favorite after the first 2 Conjurings. Then it goes Annabelle Comes Home, and that. But it depends. We'll see how I feel when I watch the Conjuring 3. But then there's the Nun as well, and But I absolutely love these movies, and now I really want to rewatch The Conjuring 2, and Annabelle Comes Home. I want to rewatch those 3. There's also The Faculty, which is an older horror movie, but really good. It's more of a sci-fi thing as well, but horror. It's basically where these aliens come and start taking over the faculty, and then this group of kids have to try to stop them. It has Jordana Brewster as a teenager, so there's that to look forward to. Then The New Kids, which is also an older horror movie, where these two this brother and sister who's really close just lost their parents because the entire family was really close, and so they end up moving with their uncle and aunt who they don't really know. And then there's this kid who sets his sights on the girl who's played by Lori Loughlin as a teenager, and he wants her, but she's not the kind of girl that would just, fawn over the cool guy or whatever, and she had no interest in him. So him and his friends make this deal, right? They make this deal to whoever gets in her pants first wins the deal, the bet or whatever. So they pretty much put a bet on who can have sex with her, which is kind of bogus. Not kind of bogus, it is bogus. But she was like no, and she even set her sights on this more nerdy guy, but she liked him. But then all of a sudden during this dance she goes missing. So him, her brother, and her brother's date all end up going to find her, and the brother, because they were in a military family and moved around a lot because of that and stuff, and so his father had taught the kids how to take care of themselves, so he ended up killing them all to save his sister. And yeah, it was messed up. And then there's The Ring. I haven't seen it in a really long time, but there's The Ring. And then there's The It. That one I only saw the once, but I do remember it a lot more than I remember The Ring. And I'm sure you guys all know It at this point. I'm talking about the original. I mean, there's also the remake, but I've never seen the remake, and I don't know if I ever will. We'll see. But I do like the original. So that's all for this video. Please like and subscribe and comment your favorite Halloween-esque movie, and I'd love to chat with you about it down below. And I'll talk to you guys later.